I would do a boxing in the AM, video on my way to the job. I swear to God, it's been like over a year since I transferred from swing shift to morning shift, and my body still hasn't adjusted to, getting up in the morning and, going to work. Because usually at the time that I'm working, I would be asleep. But, whatever, it is what it is. But nevertheless, just wanted to get that out there. But all right, so gonna talk some boxing. Gonna talk about this situation with Boots. And shout out to Brian Norman Sr. Brian Norman Sr. announced that he's gonna be fighting Greg Hackett and the ATL sometime in February. I think he said February. Well, sometime in February. But it's going to be on BLK Prime too. So with that being said, I'm going to have to bring Brian Norman Sr. back on there on the channel, basically to promote the fight and tell everybody how to, tune in to the fight, and if they want to attend the fight, how to attend the fight. So, I told him that in all likelihood I'll be there, But nevertheless, all right, so it was announced yesterday that they have a big card coming up on February the 22nd. It appears that the main event will be the highly anticipated rematch between Arthur Beterbiev and Dimitri Bivol. Now, keep in mind, when they originally fought, that there was no, rematch clause. So give both of these men credit for agreeing to do it again. Arthur Beterbiev came out on top, winning somewhat of a controversy. I didn't think it was that controversial. It was a close fight. It was a competitive fight. It could have went either way. I don't think the fight was a robbery that some people make it out to be. A robbery is like when you fight like 12 rounds and a person clearly dominate and clearly win like at least nine of the 12 rounds. Now, we don't have 15 round fights anymore, so no need to talk about that. But nevertheless, there was no clear 9 rounds that that Bivol won, as some people were saying. The rounds were very competitive and close. It all depends on what you were looking for. If you were looking for Arthur Beterbiev's aggressiveness and him walking Bivol down, and then there were just some parts of the fight where Bivol didn't want to trade or engage. He was trying to jump in and jump out and pick his spots. And I think to a certain degree, and then when you get to basically the money rounds, the last 3 rounds in which the fight was up for grab, you could clearly make an argument that Arthur Beterbiev swept the last 3 rounds, which got him the nod. And there were some parts in the fight, sometimes in the fight, where it looked like Arthur Beterbiev was 1 or 2 punches away from possibly getting Bivol out of there. So after rewatching it, and this is why I'm my own, my own analysis when it pertains to watching boxing, because I don't listen to other boxing color commentary by other people. I like to form my own opinion, my own assessment. And when you are out there covering boxing like me, that's the best thing to do. Just like when I covered Devin Haney versus Lomachenko, and you had people saying that Lomachenko won that fight. And I'm at the fight, I covered the fight, and I clearly watched that fight. And what happened was, and see, this is why, people really don't be understanding what they're watching. After watching Devin Haney versus Lomachenko at least about 3 or 4 more times, I listened to what people tell me. There was very few people that thought that Devin Haney lost that fight. But I watched it a few more times, and I came to the assessment that Devin Haney clearly won that fight. Lomachenko had 2 good rounds. There were a couple of rounds that were swing rounds that could have went either way, but Devin Haney was the champ. Devin Haney is supposed to get the benefit of the doubt. There were a couple of swing rounds, but Devin Haney, I felt, was doing the better work. I mean, he was dominating Lomachenko with body shots. He hurt Lomachenko quite a few times in the fight with body shots. So that's why I laugh for the people that say Devin Haney can't punch, because he hurt Ryan Garcia in that fight a couple of times. So this is why, like I said, I don't really like pay attention. I'll listen, but when you have some people that's just determined to go against one guy because of whatever reason, they don't like him, or because of who their parents is and all that ridiculous shit, they have what you call blind judgment, to where they're not really seeing what's going on. But yeah, after looking at that fight, Devin Haney clearly won that fight. But I digress. Let's get back to the card at hand that's going down February 22nd. It's a stacked card. Now, I don't know if this is going to be a pay-per-view card, which it looked like in all likelihood it will be a pay-per-view card. But it's a stacked card. I mean, you got Dubois versus Joseph Parker. That's going to be a good fight. You have, of course, Shakur Stevenson versus Floyd Schofield. You have the main event. Then you have Virgil Ortiz versus Magdramab. So that right there is 4 good solid fights. Then you got some other guys on there. You got Zhali Zhang on the card and a couple of other people on the card. But decent card, man. Real good card. So you pretty much gonna have boxing all day. And if you know Turkey's gonna put together some good entertainment. So, you know, you're gonna be, if you into boxing, you're gonna be at your house pretty much probably all day. So, but it's a very decent card. I like it. You know, I don't really do prediction videos, but I have an idea who's gonna win. I'm just gonna break down the fight, give my assessment, and that's pretty much it. Just like in Arizona, I'll be in Arizona covering Valdez Norrate 2. Not really gonna give a prediction. I just think it's gonna be a good, you know, rematch. You know, and that's just basically it. But let me talk about this Boots thing. I understand why people are going in on Boots. Now, some people are saying it isn't fair, but here's the thing, and you have to be honest. Unfortunately, you have to remember, when you on video saying something, that's what people are gonna go off of. And unfortunately, Boots is on video saying, hey, I'm done with 147 after his last fight. Now, I'm, you know, making some phone calls because I want to be fair, and I'm going to try to reach out to Boots people. I'm going to try to see, you know, I'm going to talk to some of my Philly connects. Not going to say who they are, but I'm going to talk to some of my Philly connects, and I'm going to see, can I find a way to get either Bozy or, in particularly, Boots, try to get him at least on the phone, try to see, can I get an interview with him and hear exactly his side of the story. But at the same time, a lot of people's mind is just made up about Boots, that he's ducking, and then that's just the bottom line. Now, shout out to Aki TV. Aki TV, I give Aki TV credit. He fight for us more than a lot of people that look like us do. And I had the pleasure of interviewing Aki TV right around this time last year. Well, close to around this time last year. You know, when I covered Devin Haney versus Regis Prograis. Aki is a solid dude, you know, good dude. I interviewed him. You know, he knows the sports boxing, you know, so, you know, at the end of the day, he does good work. And he tried to make a fair assessment. But like I said, the problem is with Boots, where Boots got himself in trouble, is following the fight with Karen. He said, well, hey, I don't think I can make 147 anymore. I'm going to move up to 154. So when you say stuff like that, okay, it looked like, okay, He's gonna move up to 154. He's done. So then they offer him to fight with Ortiz, and Eddie Hearn gets us to believe that the fight is all but a done deal. And then, according to Boots' team, he never knew about a negotiation. And then, Boots people are, basically defending what's going on and as they supposed to do. But what I'm saying is with Boots, where he made the mistake, which now it just comes to, now it just looks like Boots was embarrassed by his performance, which I gave an assessment of Boots' performance versus Karen, and I said that I saw some vulnerabilities. And I did. And that's fair to say. It is an attack on Boots. It isn't tearing him down, but as a dude that covers boxing, that's what I'm supposed to do. Give my assessment of what I saw. And a lot of fighters take it personal. They get mad at you. They attack you. Oh, you're a hater. Oh, you don't know nothing about boxing. You never boxed before in your life and all. Listen, I've had more street fights than, like, for real, than Boots has had actual fights. Don't know how many amateur fights he's had, but I had a lot of street fights. Not fights with an S. I'm talking about from age 12 to 19. A lot. Now I'm 50 years old, so I kind of came before, you solve everything with a weapon. When you lose a fight, they come back with a weapon. Right after I got into my early 20s, that's when people, started fighting with weapons instead of fighting with their fists. So I'm just saying. But that's what happens. You get that, they get mad at the media, you guys are haters and all that kind of stuff, and that's not what's going on. This is what we supposed to do. If we go to a fight and we cover the fight, excuse me, shit. One second. Excuse me, hit a bump, so I knocked my phone out. But we back, because that's what we do. These roads out here are terrible. Tell you what I saw, how I saw it, and that's just basically it. But these fighters, and I don't like to call them out their names, but they just take stuff personal. When everything is going good for them and you praising them to the highest, then they love you. But then when you say, hey, I saw this, I didn't like this, I didn't like that, then they get mad at you, then they don't want to give you access. So that's just basically it. But unfortunately, what I saw with Boots, I saw a lot of flaws. And I think now he knows that. And I think that's where he got himself and found himself in trouble, where he said, hey, I didn't look good in that fight. Which he didn't say that, but then that's kind of like what he was saying in so many words. Because I don't think he was impressed with his performance. And Boots did get hit a lot in that fight. So he had to say, hey, I don't like the weight. I don't weight anymore. I don't think I can make one win. So I'm moving up to 154. So you're going to think, okay, 154. Okay, now we can finally get that fight between you and Virgil Ortiz. So it looks like a negotiation is going on. It looked like a formal announcement is about to get made. And it was like pretty much all but done. Then all of a sudden you hear Boots doesn't want to fight. Then Eddie Hearn basically comes up and says, hey, I don't think the fight is going to happen. Boots wants to stay at 147. So at the end of the day, whether Boots likes it or not, he put himself in this position to get criticized. Now, let's keep it a buck though. How many times have you heard other people do this that don't look like Boots? Because I'm one of these dudes that call it right down the middle. My thing is, I saw Oscar De La Hoya put up this video with, a guy holding a duck. And, basically he put Virgil Ortiz's face in there, and then he put Boots' face where the duck is. My thing is, why didn't you put one of William Zepeda, who once again has ducked Shakur Stevenson? William Zepeda been ducking Shakur Stevenson for years. So that's all I'm saying is, bro, you gotta have the same energy. You gotta have the same damn energy. But we know you're not gonna do that because Zepeda is your fighter. But see, here's the thing. When you hear guys like Canelo, you hear Sergio Moore, you hear guys that are Mexican that are always talking this, Mexican that. We're not afraid of anything. We never back down. Okay, well, if you're gonna hold your group to such high standards, then you gotta back that up. But it seems to me you warriors, under certain circumstances, if you a warrior, you're gonna fight no matter what the circumstances is. One thing about warriors, when they go into battle, they know there's a chance that they may or may not come out of this thing alive, but they willing to risk it. At the end of the day, if Zepeda would have said, I don't care how bad I looked, but I want to fight Shakur Stevenson. So my thing is, you warriors under certain circumstances. Then you have Canelo say, well, I've earned the right to fight whoever I want to fight because I'm Mexican. Now, let that have been a black fighter that had said that. And this is why I don't respect a lot of content creators, especially these Sambo black content creators who built their channel basically attacking black people and black fighters. And that's why I don't fuck with a lot of those dudes, because I know what type of time they on. I've been doing this YouTube thing for almost 10 years. So I know what the formula is to build your channel. When you cater to a certain group of people that don't like you, and they don't like you, but you'll sell your channel and your integrity for likes, views, subscribers, and money. So that's still selling out. And like I said, I could have went that route many moons ago, but not gonna do it because that's just not me. I know how this works. And this is why a lot of people don't like me, because I know what the formula is. And when I hear these people try to pretend that racism doesn't exist, it's just laughable. Just like you haven't heard anybody say anything about what happened to that young man that was a second grader with that fourth grader. Just like you haven't heard anybody talk about what happened in Columbus, Ohio. Because they fake. I've been doing this for a minute. I keep telling you, I know how this works. But yeah, that's what they do. Now, like I said, if a black fighter said, oh, well, I'm black, I can fight whoever I want because I'm black, then you'll have people say, oh, here we go again, race baiting. You can't say stuff like that. That's reverse racism. That's reverse racism. And listen, if you Mexican or Asian or whatever you are, Russian, if you want to big up your people, that's fine. But my problem is, don't have something to say to me when I big up my people. Don't start talking that reverse racism shit. Don't start talking all about tribalism and all that stuff, because you come across as a hypocrite. So that's all I'm saying. So when I hear these dudes talking about I'm a Mexican warrior, yeah, you a Mexican warrior under certain circumstances. That's the problem. If you gonna say you a warrior, You gotta literally be willing to fight anybody, anytime. That's the difference between these fighters from yesteryear versus these fighters from today. They're not willing to fight anybody. They want to fight certain people. So you can't, if that's the case, then you a part-time warrior. But people display their hypocrisy on a regular basis. You got fighters, you got content creators, you got media people defended Ryan Garcia, who flat out made terrorist threats and exercised hate speech on a platform. But yet, you got everybody turning a blind eye to it, acting as if it didn't happen. And then you got a lot of these black coon fighters sitting up here taking pictures with Ryan Garcia. And you know who you are. You weak for that. But then you can't keep Devin Haney's name out your mouth. Then you got people protecting Ryan Garcia. Now you got people that then went full-fledged turncoat, now trying to insinuate that Ryan Garcia possibly got set up. Nobody set Ryan Garcia. And it's appalling that you got some boxers that's supposed to be black trying to insult people's intelligence. Do we look dumb? And only a moron would believe that. Ryan Garcia got caught because of him. Okay? Nobody else, nobody framed him. He got caught in lie after lie how that shit got in his system. And then people are still pushing this lying narrative that he had a small amount. No, he had 60 times the normal amount that somebody unintentionally would have in his system. I have the paperwork and I can put that shit right back up. So when people say he had a small amount, they a lie. So stop the cap. This just got to be said, man. That's real talk. So please stop lying. Stop lying. Stop lying. Not a good look. But as far as the boots thing go, like I said, people never had the same energy. Canelo been ducking David Benavidez for years now. And behind the scenes, they've been begging Canelo. They didn't offer Canelo basically damn near anything he wants. From what I've heard, the PBC offered Canelo pretty much anything he wants. Damn near offered to make the fight where David Benavidez had to, fight with one hand for the first 3 rounds. And Canelo still won't fight David Benavidez. You know why he don't want to fight him? It's just flat out he doesn't think he could beat David Benavidez. That is fact. Oh, and by the way, the people that are saying this, the leaks, they're Hispanic. They are the same nationality that both David Benavidez and Canelo is. So this isn't a black person. They've said this about Canelo. And here's the thing. So I'm not going to just tear into Boots like everybody else has been doing. Because you motherfuckers don't have the same energy for these non-blacks that blatantly duck. Just keeping it. I'm just keeping it 100. Just keep it at 100. Okay? So just make sure y'all had the same energy. Just make sure y'all keep it a buck. Oh yeah, I forgot. You can't do it because you're not capable of doing it. So I just wanted to put that out there. Unfortunately, Boots did put himself in this position. because he's on video. He's on audio saying that, hey, the reason why, and particularly for my poor performance, is, it was the weight. Now, was there an actual negotiation? We don't know. But to sit up there and say that you're moving up to 154 and then it looks like you're going to fight Virgil Ortiz, that had been floating around for like the last couple of days. And then when Eddie Hearn basically says, oh, the fight is not going to happen, then basically Sunday or early Monday morning, you're saying, hey, none of this is true. If you don't hear from me, then it's not true. Well, the damage is already done. Somebody from Boots' team should have alerted Boots, and if it wasn't true, Boots should have said right away, hey, there is no negotiation in place. But you wait till after the damage is already done, your name has already been put out there, and then you respond. So it makes it look like you coming with excuses and that you're ducking. So unfortunately, like I said, in all fairness to Boots should have took care of this right away. And that's all I'm saying. I talked to Brian Norman Sr. about this, and he kind of gave his assessment, and he didn't actually throw Boots' team under the bus. Somewhat of a little bit of a shock to me. He kind of, what you would call, tried to stay on code. So there you have it. But I just wanted to put that out there anyway. It's your boy Town. I'm out.